Now, former Brazilian President Lula da Silva has defied a deadline to surrender to police. He's been sentenced to 12 years in prison on corruption charges in a case that has sharply divided public opinion. Lula da Silva led Brazil from 2003 to 2011. Barack Obama once described him as the most popular president on earth. Well, Lula oversaw strong economic growth and left office with a sky-high approval rating. But in January, he was sentenced for bribe-taking following a trial that has triggered nationwide unrest.
E presidente da Associação Islâmica de...
Eu vou ficar no círculo de resistência e luta dos trabalhadores.
Boa tarde, companheirada. Pessoal, hoje, esse dia histórico de luta em defesa da democracia não podia estar em outro.
Well, the court has ruled that Lula da Silva, who has been convicted of corruption, it's alleged that while he was president of Brazil, that he engaged in acts of corruption, he was caught up in a scandal. They have ruled that with his appeals still pending, he can be jailed. He can be taken to jail to begin serving his sentence. However, he has not turned himself in. He was given until 5 p.m. today, local time in Brazil, to turn himself in and begin serving his prison sentence. He didn't do that. At this point, Brazil's former president, Lula da Silva, is in a suburb of the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo, and he is with lots of supporters, thousands of his supporters, in a metal workers union. He, along with the former president, who was just recently impeached over a year ago, both of them have often said that these charges of corruption are politically motivated. And the ruling to send Lula da Silva to prison was quite controversial. Many saw it as an attempt to prevent him from participating in Brazilian politics in the future. He is hauled up with thousands of his supporters in the headquarters of this metal workers union. Now, there are protests taking place all across Brazil by his supporters who say that the court rulings are not just, that they are politically motivated, and this is an attempt to hurt the Workers' Party and the left wing of Brazilian politics. So a lot of tension in Brazil right now as the former president is refusing to turn himself in and surrender himself and begin serving a prison sentence.
Well, Lula da Silva spoke exclusively with RT Spanish on the show Conversation with Correa, hosted by the former president of Ecuador, Rafael Correa. And you can watch the full interview on our YouTube channel, but here's a short extract.
My party wants me to run for president. They support my candidacy, and I'm ready to do it and win the election. It is possible to restore Brazil's economy, to make sure that we see economic growth again, create new jobs and help the poor become less poor. They know that I can achieve those things, but they don't want it to happen. I think Brazil's global mission is misunderstood. I'm not saying that Brazil should dominate, but it needs to make decisions along with its equals, countries in Africa and Latin America.